to Weedsday Wednesday, Tucson, Arizona's #1 online radio podcast about all things medical cannabis. Your host, Belle
and the Cannabis Kid. Our show features news, interviews, and all the latest information about anything and everything medical cannabis related in Tucson, Arizona, and the world at large.
We'd love to hear from you. Please give us a call live at 646-915-8421. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on all social media, or email thctucson@gmail.com.
We'd like to thank Tumbleweeds Health Center and Studio C, along with our many sponsors, for hosting our show every week. With the lowest price certifications in town, you'll find hemp products, accessories, and all things related to medical cannabis education.
Visit Tumbleweeds Health Center at 4826 East Broadway. And remember,
Be smart, be safe, and educate.
all right, welcome to Weedsday Wednesday, everybody. Happy New Year! Holy cow! It happened again. Yep, New Year's happened. Whew. You guys still hungover? I hope not. That would be awful. All right, welcome to Weedsday Wednesday, everybody. Wow, it's kind of dark in here. Probably need that living room light on a little bit. We've been watching the news, and then Teresa Caputo. Gotta love your mediums, right? Yeah. And Weedsday Wednesday. Ooh, that just took a lot of light away. All right, let's get ready for the show. It's so dark out right now. It's supposed to rain wicked hard today. 95% chance of rain. Ooh, come on, kitty. Which actually means we probably won't get any rain at all. Welcome to Weedsday Wednesday, everybody. Hi, Mama Kitty. She's like, oh, okay.
And have been diagnosed by an Arizona licensed physician, medical cannabis may help relieve your symptoms. Tumbleweeds Health Center is Arizona's premier cannabis certification, health, and education center. Our primary focus is to help the patients of Arizona obtain their medical marijuana card and educate everyone about medical cannabis. With current medical records, approval is a simple process. Contact Tumbleweeds Health Center to see if you qualify for your Arizona medical marijuana card.
Are chronic conditions holding you back from a happy, healthy life? Get on the right track with Tumbleweeds Health Center. Our CBD products are formulated to fit your health lifestyle.
I would definitely say that CBD has changed my life. I mean, I don't worry about my dog anymore, and I don't worry about sleeping anymore.
Tumbleweeds Health Center, voted #1 health center in Tucson, has created a proprietary number of CBD blends, each designed to promote health and well-being. Let Tumbleweeds Health Center show you how CBD products might help you improve your life the natural way.
Yeah, that's right. Give us a call, 520-838-4430, or come on down to 6224 East Speedway Boulevard and come on into the Good Leaf. And that's our other shop. And Tumbleweeds is inside there now. So, these days you can't have random businesses all over town. You got to just put them all together. I don't know. I love sound effects. They're great. All right. Welcome to Weedsday Wednesday. Happy New Year. I think I've got some interesting articles to check out. And we will do just that. But we did give a little shout out to to Tumbleweeds Health Center. It was kind of backwards. We do offer certifications. We are in our 15th year. Holy cow. Oh my God. 15 years. I can't even believe it. That is just crazy. That's awesome. That's really awesome. That's a huge milestone. I remember just trying to get to the second month because what happened, this is a funny story. This is crazy. This is how cool the universe is, I think, because this happened for a reason. So we get our place, and and it was really difficult 15 years ago to find somebody to let you rent a space for marijuana anything. So even though we were medical marijuana, because we were going to do the certifications, it didn't matter. It was just the big M word back then. Um, and people were like, but we found somebody that was okay with what we were doing. And he was so busy that he missed, and we just happened to forget paying our first 2 months of rent. And we were both still working at the time, and we saved up enough money from everything, both our jobs and what we did get from a couple. I think, we had like 4 patients that month or something silly like that. It was crazy. But yeah, we opened on a dime and a prayer. And here we are almost 15 years later. Woo! So thanks for getting that rent. That's still really funny to me. But that's how the universe works. Because had we not had that 2 months, I mean, they literally could have just kicked us out, kept our deposits, and said, slacker stoners, go find something else to do. But they didn't. Whew. Woo. All right. So if you want to know what you can get your card for in the great state of Arizona, and 15 years later, you know what? We are going to, we need to go to the state and talk to them. Hi, Skitty. About this program, because there would be so many more people in the program if they would just lower their freaking fee. Yeah, lower your fees. Come on. I mean, that's ridiculous. $150 state fee. That's stupid. And they only give you discounts if you're on food stamps, which is dumb, because to get on food stamps, you have to make very, very, very little money. But there are still a lot of people that don't make much more than that, and they can't get help. We out there think that they should lower it to like $25 or something. Come on. That would be a great thing. Oh, and let me check something. Oh, boy. Oh, kitties. We got our text back, our blog back, chat back, whatever this is. So if you want to blog, chat, text, whatever this is, I'm so old school. One of my besties is 55 today. I can't drive. 55. There it is. Sammy. No, David Lee Ross back out on tour, I think. Or was that some AI Facebook crap? Probably that. Open hour, where are you? Chat with me. What's going on? Get a new job for the new year. One where you can text. All right. Let's see what's going on in the world. Oh, yeah, we were talking about certification. So you can come on down. Get on over to tumbleweedshealthcenter.com. Check out the certifications. Hit book appointment. We got a new appointment booking program. Yeah, and it went right there. Good job. So let's see what you see. Perfect. It still says Belle Star. That's right. Well, that's who I am, Belle Star. You can click any of these times for your appointment. If you don't see a time available, that's because there's no appointment available on those times. So let's continue on here. Let me see. Friday, do we have? Yeah, we do. We have a crazy amount of appointments in the afternoon. But you can. Where did that go? If you book your appointment on Friday, that's cool. So it corresponds with our Google Calendar. So if you don't see a time slot, it's not available. We have doctors available Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. There's a ton available on Monday, so scoop them up. There are some available Wednesday and some available Friday. So get on over there, tumbleweedshealthcenter.com. And if you have one of these conditions, and let's see, right here on the certification section, if you have one of these conditions, you can get your medical cannabis card. And if you have a condition and you don't hear it on the list, we can still get you the card. All right, PTSD, you have to have your own records for that, and they have to be from the last 12 months. That is a state of Arizona requirement. That's not ours. Cancer, glaucoma, AIDS, if you have those, you most likely are going to have seen a doctor for that, because if you're coming in with those diagnoses, that's a big deal. And doctors are the ones that diagnose that. Chronic pain can be anything that is chronic, 2 months, 60 days or more. That's causing you pain. Menstrual cramps, leg cramps, migraines, fibromyalgia, IBS, all sorts of stuff. Insomnia can cause migraines, stomach issues. I mean, it's crazy what our body does when we are not at homeostasis, at rest. It's crazy, the pain and things that we suffer. Let's see, severe nausea, seizures, all seizures, including epilepsy, Parkinson's, shakes, shimmers, HIV, Hep C, ALS, Crohn's disease, all the Alzheimer's disease, dementia, cachexia, wasting syndrome, severe and persistent muscle spasms, including multiple sclerosis, even Tourette's, autism, Asperger's. You can have symptoms from those conditions that are on this list, and even just the treatment for one of those conditions that, if you're getting treated somehow and it's causing any of these things, nausea, pain, headaches, you can get your card for that. And once again,
Are chronic conditions holding you back from a happy, healthy life? Get on the right track with Tumbleweeds Health Center. Our CBD products are formulated to fit your health lifestyle.
I would definitely say that CBD has changed my life. I mean, I don't worry about my dog anymore, and I don't worry about sleeping anymore.
Tumbleweeds Health Center, voted #1 health center in Tucson, has created a proprietary number of CBD blends, each designed to promote health and well-being. Let Tumbleweeds Health Center show you how CBD products might help you improve your life the natural way.
If you suffer from one of these medical conditions and have been diagnosed by an Arizona licensed physician, medical cannabis may help relieve your symptoms. Tumbleweeds Health Center is Arizona's premier cannabis certification, health, and education center. Our primary focus is to help the patients of Arizona obtain their medical marijuana card and educate everyone about medical cannabis. With current medical records, approval is a simple process. Contact Tumbleweeds Health Center to see if you qualify for your Arizona medical marijuana card.
Yep. Give us a call, 520-838-4430. And you don't have to even come in. We do offer telemedicine. If you get over the telemedicine section, you can fill out your form there. And we will see you in the comfort of your own home, on your cozy couch, in your car, at the bar, at the zoo, wherever you might happen to be. Just make sure you've got a good signal and we can chat with you. Might want it to be private as well. All righty then. Let's get on down the road. And I'm going to see the Wiz. And Silver Sister right now is going, what? Yeah, don't even ask. I'll explain later. But apparently we got some really great seats. Sorry, guys. I'm on the show, or I'd come out and say hi. I know it. I've got some doggy friends out front that are just like, wait. Aw. They come out to my front gate and they stop because they know I've got a little Belle out there. And if their owner rings little Belle, I come out with dog treats because I miss my boy, Sully. And that's my way of just sticking with the dogs in the hood. And my cat just looked at me like, yeah, we see it every damn day. Yeah. Peeing on the couch. Gross. Oh, the things you do for love. Yeah, no, that's just stupid. All right. Let's see what's going on. I got some good articles pulled up here, and we will see about it. See if this rescheduling is going to do anything, if it's going anywhere, what's happening. Okay. Oh, here's the. Well, yeah. I don't know if I even have an article about that one. What did I find? I did find one, a look back at the past decade. The more things change, the more things stay the same. So, Cannabis Business Times is looking back at the past decade, what has changed, what hasn't. And this is from Kenneth Morrow. All right, let's see. He says, where did the time go? It's been just over a decade since I first saw mention of cannabis in my favorite horticulture periodical, Greenhouse Management Magazine. Soon after, an insert appeared in the magazine stating that the publisher had acquired the digital media brand Cannabis Business Times, CBT, and was going to start a cannabis-focused print magazine. In the last 10 years, the cannabis industry has rapidly moved forward and evolved with the inevitable changes, but in many ways, it is also the same industry that existed when I wrote my first, quote, Tomorrow in Cannabis, quote, column for CBT. 10 years ago, I naively assumed that the cannabis industry would progress much further than it has. For starters, even though medical cannabis is legal in some form in 80% of the United States. Oh, yeah. And an increasing number of lawmakers have a positive view on the industry. It still feels like the headwinds remain just as strong as ever. Same beep, different day. While some elected officials recommended that people over 65 consume CBD, others take a staunch position against all things cannabis. Some states, including Texas and California, have aimed to ban any hemp-derived THC products, such as those containing Delta 8 THC and Delta 10 THC. Other markets, such as Maine and Massachusetts, are attempting to roll back recreational cannabis laws. Thailand has already done so. Other states have begun to simply increase regulation and taxation in an attempt to stifle the implementation of legal cannabis production and distribution. Cities in many states, including California, still can opt out and not allow any cultivation or sales in their jurisdictions. In the state of Hawaii, legislators from the Old Boys Club have prevented the enactment of recreational cannabis sales, despite 70% of Hawaii voters supporting the legalization of cannabis for adult use, according to a 2023 poll. I am also taken aback by the personal opinions of politicians and the cannabis opposing general public. For instance, one politician advocating that the Department of Justice, the DOJ, kill a cannabis rescheduling proposal stated that rescheduling marijuana would send a message to children that marijuana is not harmful and allow big marijuana and foreign drug cartels to get billions per year in federal tax breaks. Did he just say that the cartels are going to get tax breaks? Oh, they don't need tax breaks. Dude, what's wrong with you, Ken? Come on. Cartels don't need tax breaks. I know it's not you, thanks, but come on. That's a good one. In fact, 9 GOP letter writers suggested that moving cannabis to Schedule 3 would provide tax breaks to, quote, illegal cannabis dispensaries and drug cartels to the tune of $2 billion a year. If marijuana is made Schedule 3, these still illegal actors will get billions in tax write-off for marketing their addictive drugs, they wrote. To which I ask, to whom are they referring to? Because last I checked, the only people paying 280E related cannabis taxes are state legal cannabis businesses, not illegal cannabis dispensaries or foreign drug cartels. Hello. Legal entities paying 280E taxes contribute billions of tax dollars every year and struggle to do so. And for that, they receive absolutely nothing except politicians seeing them as being nefarious in some way, yet they have absolutely no problem accepting their, quote, drug money. The disdain shown to cannabis would not be as baffling if it were limited to politicians. Following the governor's signing of legislation to roll back a tax hike on cannabis, I read a statement from an organization whose entire funding is from cannabis excise taxes that was very displeased as it would not be receiving the state's promised funding increase. The organization does the honorable work of discouraging youth cannabis use, but it seems um, hypocritical that it is willing to accept cannabis-derived funds, but is not clamoring for a piece of Philip Morris, Anheuser-Busch, or the state's largest alcohol distilleries. Rescheduling cannabis from 1 to 3 still will still not address one of the most pressing issues in the fractured American market, interstate commerce. If cannabis products were allowed to be sold across state lines, it would transform the industry, allowing it to be produced in regions with an abundance of water, labor, low cost electricity, and fair tax rates, i.e., locations that enable the lowest cost of production. As long as interstate commerce is not allowed, the cannabis industry's development will be stifled. In the last decade, I expected and hoped that detrimental stigma associated with all things cannabis would have further diminished that it has today. Unfortunately, law enforcement officials and politicians still refuse to believe the data showing the lack of widespread negative social consequences attributed to legalization, to name a few dispelled myths and fibs. Cannabis does not increase violence. It doesn't increase traffic accidents or fatalities. It doesn't cause mass psychosis or schizophrenia. It doesn't cause male humans to develop breasts. And it doesn't cause females to become sterile. Sure, exceptions may be found, but as a whole, cannabis has been proven to be less harmful than cigarettes or alcohol. So the past 10 years have frankly been disappointing in many respects. But it's not just the last 10 years. I still remember seeing reform advocates in California in the late 70s gathering signatures in an attempt to legalize marijuana. And today, cannabis remains barely tolerated, let alone legalized. Barely tolerated is pretty good. That's like a definite maybe. 10 years ago, I started writing for Cannabis Business Times. Did I think we would be further along in the industry's development by now? Well, yes, absolutely. Did I think societal beliefs would be improved beyond what they are today? Well, of course. Did I think it would be easy? No, definitely not. So, what keeps me going in a society that seemingly does not want an industry I care about to thrive? The community and friends who are helping shape and build a better industry. So, in that vein, let me express some gratitude. This is from Ken from Cannabis Business Times. I must sincerely thank the group of former and current CBD editors, particularly Brian McIver and Michelle Simakis, for their wonderful insight, contributions, and editing of every word I've written for CBT over the years. Thanks, you two, for helping shape my voice. When I first heard of the launch of Cannabis Business Times as a magazine, I immediately called the publication and was nicely directed to contact the founder and then editor, now editor-director, Noel Skodinsky. My original intent was to request that the magazine be an innovative, informative resource focused on real-world commercial cannabis production, similar to what its sister magazine offered the traditional greenhouse market. Noel exceeded my expectations and hopes by a mile, offering me the opportunity to write a regular column for the magazine, which I've done while never missing an issue. In these 10 years, we have also become great friends with a shared vision for publishing high caliber content that supports cannabis growers. I can never express the depth of my gratitude for the trust and friendship, but I'll try. I must offer a truly heartfelt thank you to Noelle for her tenacity and her perseverance, and I must congratulate her for all her contributions to and acknowledgments in the world of cannabis. The Cannabis Business Times brand has evolved into a global information source that Noelle should be very proud of, and I am immensely honored to have been allowed to participate in it since the beginning. Thank you so very much, Noel, for giving me a voice and platform to share information. I hope the next 10 years are as fruitful for the cannabis industry as the last 10 years have been for our friendship. Oh, that's really sweet. And I thank Cannabis Business Times and everyone from Tumbleweeds. Thanks, you guys, for sending us all your art, your magazines, and for keeping everybody educated and up to date on what's happening with cannabis, marijuana, medical or not, recreational. We don't care as long as you're out there doing good things with it. It's all on you guys. It's all on you, boo. You do you, boo. And Cannabis Business Times, thank you. 10 years. Whoop, whoop. Right on. Yeah, they started sending us their magazine, and we have appreciated it. And we have stacks of them over the years. They're really awesome. So thanks, guys. All right. Well, yeah, it has been a crazy almost 15 years. That's crazy. Like I said, we were just grateful to get through the first 2 months. A lot has changed, a lot has stayed the same, but we said we give it 10, 15, 20 years. I think that we said 10 to 20 years. And we're at 15. We said 10 to 20. And I think in the next 5 or 10 years probably from now. I don't know. You never know. I mean, it could be a lot longer than that, but it is it has taken great strides with 80% of our country on board. That's a lot, and that speaks volumes. And we hope that it just continues to grow and flourish. And you know what else we hope continues to grow and flourish?
I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunt, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome.
Walk into my house like, what up? I got some good pop. I'm just pumped up, got some herb from the pot shop. Ice in the fridge, it used to be frosty. My friends like, damn, that's a stone ass donkey. Rolling in hella high, looking like it's super time. Dominating all my friends as I eat some chili fries. Draped in the snuggie with my girl sitting next to me. Probably shouldn't have had a big gulp full of iced tea. But shit, it was 99 cents. I'll be blazing and smoking, about to go and get some munchies. Next, passing up on those cracker jacks, Reese's Pieces of Clarence. I gotta get me some soda pop. Cotton mouth has been creeping up. I can't remember where I put my keys. Yeah, that's what's up. I'ma take you breakfast ride. No, for real. Ask your grandma, can I take a 65 to Bill cruising to my local Publix? Nothing better than rolling with 2 super fly chicks that have frozen burritos. I bought frozen burritos. I bought some Ben and Jerry's, and then I bought some Cheetos. Hello, my main man Obama. A couple states have just reformed their laws on marijuana. What you gonna do? Send the feds there? Hell no. The DPAs are slick. Oh, they got volcano.
I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunt, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome. I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunt, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome.
What you know about the science of marijuana? What you know about people suffering from glaucoma? They need it, it helps them with their condition. If you don't believe me, then just ask some eye physicians. Thank your granddad for voting for that guy. Richard Nixon is the president who made the plants illegal. But science is now showing that it's medicine for people, and the private sector's fighting to keep all of that illegal. Alcohol and tobacco, pharmaceutical prisons. I'll take those 4 major lobby groups and fight those motherfuckers. They're making money day and night, all those motherfuckers. And private commerce out of sight, all those motherfuckers. They be like, oh, it's immoral and unhealthy. I'm like, how many people are you making wealth? Anti-marijuana lobbies are making all kinds of profits, and they don't want you to stop because of all the special interest. I call that getting swindled and pimp shit. I call that getting tricked by the government. That law's hella old, so it's time to update it, regulate it, and then get it under state control. People can't look into my political telescope. Think it's gonna stay like this forever? Nah, hella won't. not hella won't. Hey, Obama, stop being a hypocrite. You used to smoke weed, fool. I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a run, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome. Let's end the war on drugs. It's time to pull the plug. These special interest groups are nothing more than corporate thugs. Let's end the war on weed. The people have agreed. These special interest groups have built these corporate bribery. I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunt, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome.
All right, welcome back to Weedsday Wednesday, everybody. Anybody do anything crazy for the new year? I did not. Fell asleep. I'm old. All right, welcome back to Weedsday Wednesday. Okay. All right. Get on over to Tumbleweeds Health Center. Duck up. Hi, little bear. And check it out. We do certifications. We do this radio show here. We do consultations if you're unsure of whether or not medical marijuana, cannabis, hemp, CBD, THC, CBG, CBN, all the CBs. If you're unsure if they're right for you, come and talk to one of our doctors. Just $50, $50 bill. And you can come sit down with one of our wonderful doctors and just ask them all your questions. Don't be scared. Get on in. You can book your certification right online. In fact, you don't even have to come in, though. You can do our telemedicine option and fill out the form, and we will send you a link to just virtually meet with one of our doctors. You can just chill out and stay at home or your facility if you can't get out, and just talk with someone. It's very, very cool to be able to talk to somebody about cannabis, a doctor, and help you feel more comfortable about it. Maybe it's for you. Maybe it isn't. That's for everybody to find out. All right. So let's see what else is going on in the world of weed. I had, oh no, Norton. I hate when they do that. Your computer. Okay, Congress no longer trying to block cannabis rescheduling. Let's see what the House and Senate Appropriation Committees removed language from a funding bill that would have blocked the DOJ from reclassifying the plant. Lawmakers in Washington retreated from an attempt to strip the executive branch's authority to reschedule cannabis. The U.S. House and Senate Appropriation Committees released a bicameral 3-bill funding package on January 5th that includes the latest version of the fiscal year 2026 Commerce, Justice, Science, CJS, and related agencies appropriations bill. The Republican-controlled House Appropriations Committee advanced a previous version of the bill in September that included language intending to block the DOJ from using funds to reschedule marijuana or to remove marijuana from the schedules established under Section 202 of the Controlled Substances Act, the CSA. But that provision, which aimed to reserve cannabis rescheduling rights exclusively for the legislative branch, was removed from the conference CJS bill released on Monday. The CJS bill was packaged with appropriation measures for energy and water development and for interior and environment. The bicameral decision to concede comes less than 3 weeks after President Donald Trump signed an executive order directing U.S. Attorney General Pamela Bondi to, quote, expedite completion of a proposal to reclassify cannabis from a Schedule I to Schedule III drug under the CSA. The CSA vests the Attorney General with the authority to schedule, reschedule, or decontrol drugs as the chief of the Department of Justice. Former Attorney General Merrick Garland signed a Schedule III proposed rule under President Joe Biden, but a non-mandated administrative law judge hearing sidelined the process, and a final rule was never issued under the former administration. House Appropriations Committee Chairman Tom Cole, said the three-bill funding package released this week was developed through committee-led negotiations and, quote, thoughtful deliberation. Quote, this bipartisan bicameral package reflects steady progress toward completing fiscal year 26 funding responsibly, he said. It invests in priorities crucial to the American people, making our communities safer, supporting affordable and reliable energy, and responsibly managing vital resources. The CJS portion of the package provides a base discretionary total of $78 billion, including $37 billion for the DOJ. Of that DOJ allocation, $2.6 billion is appropriated to the Drug Enforcement Administration to, quote, disrupt and dismantle Mexican cartels that flood the U.S. with fentanyl. And $2.6 billion is for the U.S. Attorney's offices to prosecute, convict, and incarcerate violent criminals and drug trafficking organizations. Senate Appropriations Committee Chair Susan Collins called the package, quote, fiscally responsible, adding that it will improve scientific research and support law enforcement. Also included in the bill is a nearly 12-year-old funding restriction that prohibits the DOJ from preventing certain states and U.S. territories from implementing their own laws that authorize the use, distribution, possession, and cultivation of medical cannabis. While the federal government has mostly taken a hands-off approach to state-sanctioned adult-use cannabis programs, only medical programs are protected under the long-standing rider. A joint explanatory statement for the CJS appropriations bill provides that, quote, certain states, quote, are protected from government interference with their medical cannabis laws, but it does not elaborate on why the provision excludes protections for Idaho, Kansas, Nebraska, and American Samoa, 3 states and 1 U.S. territory with some of the least permissive cannabis laws in the nation. In other words, the DOJ can use funding to enforce federal prohibition against medical cannabis use and related activities in these 4 jurisdictions. Perhaps the key takeaway for cannabis industry stakeholders is that the CJS bill largely continues the status quo for state-sanctioned businesses and keeps the door open for the Trump administration to loosen restrictions on cannabis under the CSA. Preserving the executive branch's authority to reschedule cannabis comes despite 22 Senate Republicans sending a letter to Trump on December 17th, the eve of his executive order, asking the president not to go through with his decision. Quote, the only winners from rescheduling will be bad actors such as communist China, while Americans will be left paying the bill, the senators wrote. 4 of the 15 GOP senators on the Appropriations Committee signed the letter, meaning they were in the minority of their caucus. And I still say, if you're going to call yourself the GOP, the grand old party, you better be sporting those grand old wigs from the 1800s. Come on, man. That would be awesome. Do it. Although some may have focused on the fact that 22 Senate Republicans opposed Trump's decision, it should not be lost that 31, that's 58% of Republicans, chose not to sign the letter. The next day, the same day Trump signed the order, 26 House Republicans sent a similar letter trying to persuade the president against his decision. They present 12% of their caucus in the lower chamber, meaning 192 Republicans did not sign that letter. Texas Rep. Pete Sessions and Maryland Rep. Andy Harris spearheaded the letter, quote, we don't need rescheduling to do medical research on marijuana. All we are doing is exposing more of our youth to an addictive drug, Harris said. 6 of the 35 GOP representatives on the House Appropriations Committee signed a letter. They did not hold enough clout to keep the rescheduled blocking provisions included. So, what say you all on the rescheduling to 3? I've got a lot of folks in the cannabis industry that are not happy about it. Dr. Regina Nelson, come on air and chat with us about this, and let's hear your views and opinions on what rescheduling would mean for the cannabis industry. Let's see what else is going on in the world. Oh, here's a good question. First of all, let's check and see. Is anybody out there? No. No, absolutely not. No, there probably are some people out there. But I suck so much at social media and website crap that I have no idea who's listening and who isn't. So if you're out there listening, howdy. All right. High Times. This is from High Times magazine, who was purchased not too recently. All right. America cards you for beer. So why can't it card you for hemp and THC? All right. Well, for years, aren't they? For years, the argument has sounded the same. Intoxicating hemp products are poorly regulated. They show up everywhere. They undercut licensed cannabis, and too often they end up in the hands of minors. That's the argument. The truth in all of it, but there is truth in all of it, says this article from High Times, but there is also a deeper question hiding underneath the outrage, and it matters because it changes what the solution should be. If the United States can card a 65-year-old for buying a six-pack, how can it be impossible to control age verification for hemp-derived THC? This is the same country where alcohol retailers can lose their license over a single failed compliance check, where selling to a minor can end a business overnight. The system is strict on purpose, and it works because the consequences are real. So when underage sales keep happening in the intoxicating hemp market, it is tempting to frame it as a hemp problem. In practice, it looks more like a governance problem. Minnesota exposed the gap. A University of Minnesota Cannabis Research Center study in the Twin Cities found that underage shoppers were able to purchase intoxicating hemp edibles or beverages about 34% of the time without being asked for ID. The University of Minnesota School of Public Health summarized the same problem as widespread noncompliance with Minnesota's 21 plus requirement for hemp-derived THC sales. Just as revealing was where the failures were most common. Retailers that routinely sell age-restricted products, such as bars and liquor stores, were more likely to check IDs. Businesses that do not normally operate in a 21 plus world were far less consistent. The takeaway is not mysterious. Age verification works best when it is built into the business model. When it is not, enforcement becomes inconsistent and easy to evade. Yeah, my friend, when I was, let me see, we were like, how old? 18, 17, 16? No, 17. I don't know how old you had to be to work at this Long's Drugs. And she didn't calculate the ID properly and twice sold alcohol to an undercover person, and they fired her. Nicest person on the entire freaking planet, didn't read the date right and got fired. And so, of course, nowadays you just it's so much easier. You swipe the ID on something and it checks your age. And if you're not 21, can't have it. And that's not on you. That's on the ID that they're scanning. Now, what if the ID is fake? Well, very good possibility. That's not on you either, I don't think. Okay. The outrage around intoxicating hemp often boils down to a simple claim: it's being sold to kids. That's a serious problem, and studies like Minnesota's suggest it's not a talking point. But if you stop there, you miss the real story. The paradox is not that the US cannot enforce age limits, it is that intoxicating hemp grew for years in a marketplace where the usual enforcement machinery was never put in place. Alcohol has a mature ecosystem: licensing, inspections, compliance checks, and penalties that can shut you down. Hemp did not. Products appeared in gas stations, smoke shops, convenience stores that were never designed to operate as 21 plus environments. In that vacuum, the rule became suggestions. Yes, the MSOs have a point. This is where the loudest critics of hemp are not wrong. Licensed cannabis businesses operate under strict compliance regimes. They face audits, tracking requirements, packaging rules, taxes, harsh penalties for mistakes. Meanwhile, intoxicating hemp products were often sold in far looser conditions. That imbalance created frustration and legitimate concerns about fairness and public safety. But that does not make hemp the villain. What often gets lost is that not every hemp operator is acting in bad faith. Exactly. Many companies attempted to build responsible businesses with testing, labeling, child-resistant packaging, and age controls that mirrored regulated cannabis or alcohol. Some MSOs even entered the hemp space themselves for the same reasons everyone else did. The market existed and demand was real. The problem was never hemp itself. It was the absence of a clear regulatory line between responsible operators and those exploiting loopholes. Why the hemp ban is happening now? This context matters because it explains why Congress is now moving forward toward a sweeping hemp ban. In late 2025, lawmakers quietly passed language in a must pass spending bill that sets the stage for reclassifying most hemp derived intoxicants as illegal under federal law, with enforcement beginning one year after enactment. The move was not driven by new science, it was driven by frustration and, I believe, mostly greed. Regulators watched a gray market grow without guardrails, saw enforcement fall behind, and choose the fastest political solution: prohibition. Instead of building a framework for testing, labeling, license, and age verification, lawmakers opted to collapse the category entirely. Yeah, dumb, but it won't happen. I mean, just veering off the article itself, you know that it's the hemp industry is not going to get shut down. Billions, trillions of dollars come from this industry. There's no way that any government would shut this down because they'll lose that money. And well, let's all admit it, they're mostly just a group of greedy bastards. Mostly. I didn't say all of them. Chill. Hit the bong, y'all. This is what America does. None of this should be surprising. This is how American markets behave. When lawmakers leave a loophole open, people use it. When rules are vague, businesses optimize around them. When enforcement lags, the fastest actors win. The intoxicating hemp market did not go rogue. It behaved exactly as markets do when demand exists and policy is unclear. The access reality most people skip. There's another part of the story that rarely makes it into the outrage cycle. In much of the United States, legal cannabis dispensaries still do not exist. For millions of adults, hemp-derived products became the only lawful access point to cannabinoids that can provide relief, sleep, relaxation, or simply the freedom to choose. People did not turn to intoxicating hemp because they were trying to game the system. Many turned to it because the system offered no alternative. Removing access without replacing it does not protect the public. It shifts demand back to unregulated channels. What protecting kids would actually look like if lawmakers truly want intoxicating products out of minors' hands, the solution is not a ban, it's regulation. 1. licensing for retailers selling intoxicating hemp products. 2, routine compliance checks modeled after alcohol enforcement. 3, clear penalties that actually deter violations. 4, mandatory age verification at the point of sale. 5, testing and labeling standards that mean something. The U.S. already knows how to do this. Uh-oh. I just got an ad pop. Boop. It simply chose not to until the consequences became unavoidable. The regulatory failure at the center of it all, this is not a story about one plant being good and another being bad. It is a story about incentives, enforcement, and what happens when regulation lags behind reality. Yes, the underage risk is real. Yes, the playing field has been uneven. Yes, bad actors exploit the gaps. That has always been the problem. But the problem is not hemp. The problem is that lawmakers created a market without rules, watched it grow, and then acted surprised when people used it. America knows how to regulate intoxicants. It simply has not yet applied that discipline to hemp-derived cannabinoids. Banning is easy. Regulation is hard. But if the goal is public safety rather than political cover, the choice should be obvious. Transparency. Note, High Times licenses its name to a hemp-derived THCA product line. This article reflects an editorial view that any intoxicating cannabinoid market should be age gated, tested, and enforced. Disclosure: this article is for informational purposes only. Cannabis and hemp-derived products are intended for adults in jurisdictions where legal. Oh, and the photo is from Shutterstock, just in case you were wondering. All right, Javier Haas. That's from High Times Magazine. That's a good article. And it poses a lot of really great thoughts. And this is what I love about, doing the show is you can read something, check it out, and let's find out. Let's just see, for shits and giggles, as they used to say. They still say that, right? How hard is it? So let's say someone walks in to a hemp shop and you've got your computer out and you say, how old, let's see, if you're 21 today, what year were you born? Okay. 2003 or 2004. So there are birth year calculators right there. Bam, right there. Birth year calculator. So you put on, on such and such a date. Their age is, let's see, 1970, January 1st. Before at birth. What? Never mind. We'll find an easier one. Birth year calculators. Come on. It's keep going back to the same one. So they've got a market on this. Age checker. Oh, I like that. Age checker. So minimum 21. Let's see. Clear. So check the date for birth date. Find the age on January 1st, 1970. Calculate. Check minimum ages. So on or before this date, 1949, if you have to be 21. Okay, so see, just put the numbers in and it comes up for you. It shouldn't be that hard. And in fact, most of the POS systems, the point of sale systems we use out there, will have a feature. In fact, we'll have to check that at the Good Leaf. 6224 East Speedway Boulevard. Come on down. Get some hemp and CBD and barely any THC products right now. If you look at US Hemp Roundtable online, it's hempsupporter.com. They've got a clicker, 309 days, 13 hours, 5 minutes, and 40 seconds until the hemp ban. And then there's a button you can help stop the hemp ban. You can send a so here's all the ways you can help stop the hemp ban. And here we go. We'll just plug it into our little blog system. If you want to check that out, you can help stop it. Let's see. help U.S. stop the hemp ban thanks to a backroom deal cut as part of the efforts to reopen the government in November. 95% of hemp extracts could be treated as soon as November 2026 as Schedule 1 narcotics. So you can write a letter, and they've basically written it out for you. I urge you to support an 18-month extension of the hemp ban moratorium in the upcoming continuing resolution. So you can send messages, you can write letters, you can do all sorts of stuff. And that's at your U.S. Hemp Roundtable, hempsupporter.com. You can get in touch with them. All right. So, yep. Actually, that hour went fast. We are winding down. Get on over to tumbleweedshealthcenter.com. Check it out. You can find out a little bit about us. Almost 15 years. And I did change that. Yes, 15-year anniversary coming up. Wow. I can't even believe it. I myself am super proud of us. I'm super proud of all the patients out there, all of our doctors out there that have stuck with us for so long and continue to fight for cannabis. Has not been an easy fight, but we are doing our best to spread education and information and just to keep everybody informed about what's going on in Tucson, Arizona, and the world at large. And on that, we are going to say sayonara. And thanks for tuning in. As always, be smart, be safe, and educate. Happy New Year, everybody. Woo-woo. Make it a good one. And if you have resolutions, follow through with them. If you don't. It's the way it is. Make them or don't make them. We're super happy to be here. Be nice to each other. Don't write stupid 1-star reviews because you couldn't use the bathroom. Oh, silly. Oh my gosh. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Happy Weedsday Wednesday. We'll see you next week. We'll get Cannabis Kid on here. Woo woo. Silver Sister's just too quiet. Go Bills. Yeah, go Bills. Woo. Have a great day, everybody. Happy Weedsday Wednesday. We love y'all.